What's going on, 22 Comics, and today I'm finally doing my VR for the top 10 first appearance challenge. I got challenged first off by War Machine Punisher Comics and Collectibles. I'm gonna have his link down at the bottom for you to go check out his stuff and go check out his top 10 first appearances. He had a dope freaking video. And then I also got challenged by Dale of Suspense, another homie. I'm gonna have his link down at the bottom. He had an awesome freaking first appearance challenge as well, so go check that video out. I think I'm gonna do 2 videos just to have more fun with this. So I like this challenge. I think it's pretty cool. I might expand on after I do this first initial one, go from there. But I think I got something that Dale would really appreciate. So, but hey, let's jump into this top 10. First appearances in my collection. These are my favorites that I have. These are in no particular order. First off, we're going to start off with Detective Comics 583. Alright, first, an amazing Mike Mignola cover. Alright, this is going to be the first appearance of Scarface and the Ventriloquist. I think it is by far one of the coolest Batman villains ever. I would love to see this in the Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson Batman universe. I think it would do really well there as like a creepy thriller. Is there actually killer dolls out there or not kind of thing. So, and on top of that, I honestly just think it's really cool to have a rogue from Batman's gallery. I think that gallery, the Flash gallery, and the SpiderMan gallery have some of the best rogues, and those are some of the coolest villains to collect. So, first appearance, Scarface, the Ventriloquist. Next up is a debated first appearance, but hey, we're gonna count it for this video, okay? So, this is XMen Annual 14. Gambit has several panels in this book, and that's why this is kind of a debated first appearance of Gambit. I love Gambit. I've loved that character since the cartoon, and I'm actively looking for 266. It's on my grail list this year, so eventually hope I'll have both of his debated first appearances. I do think that 266 cover is way better than this cover, but you can't deny the presence that Gambit actually has in this book. Next, I actually acquired this through this year because of my grail list. This is New Mutants Annual number 2. This is the first US appearance of Betsy Braddock, and she turns into Psylocke. Dope, awesome book. I've wanted this one for a long time. She was one of my favorite characters to play in the Sega game and stuff like that growing up. Very excited, very happy to have this book in the PC. Glad I had it on the grail list this year and have already achieved it. So, another debated first appearance. I tend to look at this one though for what is the first appearance of Darkseid. Forever People number 1. Most of the other appearances that are quoted as his first are very much like he's in a monitor screen and stuff like that. Like it, and he doesn't even look the same in some of those claimed to be first appearances. So this one here is an awesome book. I need to like do some cleaning on it or something. It's so like it's got so much foxing going on and just dirt and stuff like that. I think I could really clean this up and actually make it really look really good. So I want to do that. I just haven't yet, but I'm super excited, super stoked to got this. I bought this at the same time. I won an auction that had this, and it had New Gods number 1 in it. So I got some kind of crazy deal to get both these books. Another book that I got this year, and I'm very excited to have it. And I'm honestly surprised that like I didn't have it on my grails list. But you know, without further ado, this is Tales to Astonish number 63. This is the first appearance of the Leader. I really dig that character. I think it's cool. It's a cool concept. It's something that, you know, a lot of times the Hulk's beating up on Abomination or the Absorbing Man or something. It's always somebody physical, whereas like the Leader is not so much a physical villain. So I've always dug the intelligence and stuff like that in villains and in superheroes alike. Definitely very glad to have this, and the grade that I have it in too. It's a tough book to get my decent grade as well. Alright, this one right here is, if it's not Iron Man or something like that I'm going after something like creepy kind of, like Dark Justice League Dark kind of. Swamp Thing 37. Yeah, 37. This is the first appearance of John Constantine, and I love this book. I'm so happy to have it in my collection. It's super cool, and I love it. And I'm just gonna keep repeating myself if I keep on going on about it, but yeah, I'm so excited to have this in my collection. All right, next book up. This is a book that I don't really see shown a whole lot, and so I do dig that. I think that's pretty cool in and of itself. I kind of think it's an overlooked book. This is San Diego Comic-Con Comics #2. This is the first appearance of Hellboy. I know that there was a pamphlet for another con that came out, and like Hellboy looks, it was almost like a prototype Hellboy, and that's super cool. I'd love to have that as well. But this is like very much, and then there was a dime press #4, I believe, that had Hellboy on the cover, and he looked very much like what Hellboy is now. That came out before this as well, but he was just on the cover. So this has actually got like the first like black and white Hellboy type story in it of what we know and see as Hellboy today. Just an awesome book. Very glad I have it, and I just think it's something that's not seen a whole lot. Another thing that I like to collect is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm glad that I got this book when I did. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. I can't remember exactly which printing this is. This is either the 4th or the 5th printing, so it's definitely not the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. I know that, but still, awesome cover. I love it. I'm so glad that I have it. Another cool thing about this printing is that it is a normal comic book size book, whereas, you know, the normal first 1 through 4 books were magazine size. Super excited to have this. Glad I have it, especially as a Turtle fan. And it's not in the best condition at all, but still very, very glad that I have the first appearance of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in any kind of shape, form, or fashion printing. This book here, y'all have heard me say before, I'm not a SpiderMan fan. And I'm truly not a SpiderMan fan. There's a cool story that goes along with this book. I'd just gotten into comics, and back into comics, I guess, really. And so I was collecting several stories. One of them being the Civil War storyline. I was collecting that. I was trying to pull the World War Hulk storyline, the Planet Hulk storyline, things like that. And at the time, Spider-Man had died in the Ultimate Universe. And so I was trying to get the death of story of Spider-Man. In my quest to find that story, Ultimate Fallout was part of that Death of Spider-Man story. I did a lot of my hunting in back bins at 2nd and Charles. That's where I'd find a lot of my books that I was looking for. And I found this in the back bins at 2nd and Charles years ago. Ultimate Fallout 4, first printing. I am lucky enough to be one of those stories that I'm able to tell you I pulled this out of a back bin for $1. Don't hate me, please. But yes, I paid $1. I'm pretty positive $1 for this book. I wouldn't have paid more than $2 for this book. And I'm going to be honest with you, I had no idea what I had. I had no idea what I'd found. And it wasn't until years later, when the whole Miles hype started really hitting hard, that I was like, I think I have that book. And I went and looked, and there it was. And it's been sitting in my short box for God knows how long now. And I didn't even finish the Ultimate Fallout storyline, but I had this book. So I'm very grateful to have this. My son is a Miles fan, and that's why it's important to me. Like, I'm holding on to this book, and I probably will never sell it. It's on my mind to get it slabbed, honestly. Because I have facsimiles of that book, and I have the second printing. Y'all have seen that. I want to pass that down to my son. Like, I think that would be something really cool for him, because a lot of kids nowadays, when you ask them who Spider-Man is, they say Miles. So I think it would be super awesome if he continues to be a Miles fan as he grows up, for me to be able to hand this over to him. Or if he's not, if my grandchildren, you know, if I have any, if I'm lucky to have any, if they were in Spider-Man and that was their Spider-Man was Miles, I'd love to be able to pass that down to them and just be able to give them something that otherwise may not be obtainable at that point in time. There's no telling what the future holds for that book. Along those same lines, talking about my son and stuff like that, I usually don't like to give names of my family and things because it's just, I kind of like to keep it separate and whatnot like that. However, this right here, when you know, me and my wife, when she became pregnant and, well, you know, we found out we were having a boy, we started going through names and trying to figure out, like, you know, what we would name our son. And one of the names I came up with was Remy, because I love freaking Gambit. That's one of my favorite characters, as we talked about before. And my wife shot that down. She's like, "Nah, I'm not naming my son Remy." I said, "Okay, what about Murdoch?" Because I love Daredevil as well. I didn't want to do Tony. I didn't want to do Anthony. I know it's kind of a shocker, but yeah, I didn't want to do either of those. And but she shot down Murdoch as well, and I didn't want to do Matt. So no offense to any Matts, no offense to any Tonys or Anthonys. It's just I didn't want to do that. But what we did land on was Bishop. And so that's who my son is named after. This is X-Men 283, and also just because, you know, we're not going to be nitpicky or whatever, 282 as well. Both of the possible first appearances of Bishop. This is a second printing, so I need to find a first printing of this book. I want to eventually get another copy and slab it and have it in my son's room, because he is fully aware that he is named after a comic book superhero. So, but yeah, I absolutely love Bishop. I've loved him since the cartoon as well. He's just been one of my favorites of all time. And so very, very glad to have both of these books in the collection. And I'm also kind of excited to be able to, you know, still hunt for that first appearance or that first print. Definitely dope covers. Love them. Love the presence that he has in those things. This was definitely a fun challenge. Thank you so much, Dale Suspense and War Machine Punisher, for tagging me in it and giving me the opportunity to be able to make a video like this. I gotta make 3 tags as well, so I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna tag the homeboy Brian LCS. He was on my live chat the other night and said he hasn't been tagged yet, so I want to give him the opportunity to do this. A comic bookworm as well. He has not yet been tagged, so I definitely want to give him the opportunity to show off his first appearances as well. I looked at Cole's Comics claims, and he hasn't done one yet, so I don't know if somebody else has tagged him or not, but I'd love to see what Cole has got as well. And be on the lookout for another video that I'm going to do, because I got some other folks that I want to tag in that one, because I want to see their first appearances as well. So, because I had a good handful of people in my mind. I was like, I want to see what they got. I love this. I love this challenge. I think it's awesome. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. You can find me on a podcast called Comically Comics. You can also find me on Instagram and whatnot at the handle 22_comics. Once again, thank you so much for watching. And as always, y'all have a good one.